lips of the one who could sing so sweet. And I would fly on the wings of a bird I knew could take me high as breathe in, breathe out. You keep me alive. You are the fire burning inside of me. You are my passion for life.
Hello, and welcome to Passion Supernatural Podcast, the podcast where we discuss what we consider to be the best soap opera ever, Passions. Every weekend on Sunday at 2 p.m., we are exclusively on YouTube to discuss, once again, what we consider to be the best soap opera ever, Passions, from 1999 all the way to 2008, right here on YouTube. Hi there, I'm Joe Velasquez, host of the show. Along with me today is my lovely and wonderful co-host, Casey Metcalf. How you doing, girl?
Doing okay.
Just okay?
Yeah.
No, that's better than nothing, I suppose. We all have our, our days or whatever. But also, once again today, we have a special guest appearing with us once again. We've had her before. I'm glad we got her again. Welcome, Acacia, right?
Yes.
Okay, I got it right. Great, Acacia, people. Welcome her back to the show. Yes. So, here we are. This is our basically, I guess I want to say our second show since Casey and I finished watching Passions, the final season, season 8, DirecTV final season. We finally ended it and everything. We first started talking about that last weekend. So this is our second show after that. So now that there's no more show for us to discuss or whatever, now we just got to kind of take the beautiful soap and just go with it and discuss everything that we can think of. And I mean, having guests on our show, that always helps because, I mean, they probably know more stuff than we do. I mean, I started watching the show very, very, very late in the run, and Casey may have been watching from the beginning, but she missed the final season and watched it with me. So having guests on here who probably know more about it than we do. So here we are again.
Yeah.
So I mean, oh man, where to even begin today? I tell you, this is always the tough part now. It's just
First off, just let everyone know. Sorry about my screen. It's blurry.
oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. So
No
I'm
worries
trying to
about
fix
it.
it.
No worries,
Yeah.
we'll get that fixed. No worries. It's probably only a few shows. You'll get it fixed, even if you probably have to get a new webcam. You never know. But anyways, I mean, where to take this? This is always the tough part, Acacia, is just knowing where in the world to start now that we no longer have a show to talk about, now that the show is over. I mean, like we said last weekend, I mean, it was Acacia here who suggested to Casey and I that we ought to go back and start it from the very, very beginning. And like we told you guys before and everything, we're strongly considering it and everything, but we're going to have to wait for Casey to have a more open schedule and everything. Her schedule's pretty busy right now for us to be starting from the very beginning. So
Because I got practice on Wednesday nights now, bowling. So
that's right. Yep, a lot of bowling for Casey. Sounds like fun. I wish I could do that.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
Yep, and stuff like that. So we'll see how that all goes. It's gonna take a lot. I mean, I've never seen the show from beginning to end. I just kind of saw what I saw, started from the beginning, and just saw a few basic episodes and everything. And so I will point this out. I guess I might as well start this out and everything. If you all remember Acacia from the one time that she appeared on the show, be sure to tune into her TikTok because her TikTok is passions galore. I mean, what am I talking about, Acacia? Why don't you tell us about your precious TikTok or whatever? How in the world I was able to find you, girl?
Yeah. So my TikTok is at Passions Obsessed 1. And it really was just like something I thought about. So I started rewatching Passions. I had never actually seen Passions from the beginning either. I started watching it, I was like 13. It was like 2004. So like a lot of stuff had happened before then. But like the best part about Passions is you can pick up in the middle of the soap opera and still kind of know what happens. Like I remember watching and Teresa was pregnant with Jane but like she would constantly like pretty much recite like their whole history in an episode. Like, oh, like when I hooked up with Ethan and got pregnant with, like, I mean, like it would just, okay, if you don't know that already, my bad. But,
It's okay. It's okay.
but
We
like she
give
would like
spoilers here. It's okay.
recite like pretty much their whole history in, an episode. So it was so easy to pick it up because like, oh, I know something happened back here. But yeah, so when I decided to rewatch it, I was like, oh my gosh, like I would love to do a Passions TikTok and not just necessarily like clips. Like I do a lot of clips and things like that from like throughout the show. I don't really do them in any specific order. I'm trying to do them more as I watch the show.
Mhm.
But then also just like funny trends that are happening. Like I just did one that was the 90s trend, like what were you like in the 90s, and I like had a bunch of pictures from like passions, like 90s passions. So I just try to do a lot of like funny commentary. At some point I try to, let's see, so my like current thing I do like every now and then a where are they now, to like kind of like what are the
Oh, I'd
passions,
love to
what's the
see
passions
that.
cast up to. Yeah, so I've done Dana Sparks and Molly Stanton. Those are the two. I'm working on Chief Bennett, James Hyde. So it's kind of sporadic when I do them, because it takes some time to like look up
I was gonna
everything.
ask you, how in the world do you find all that stuff? Because not all the actors actually have their nowadays information online. I mean,
So some of them don't. So I've looked on like IMDb, like to find like with James Hyde, like he's been in several like movies and uh he's just
He's from Ohio.
he's from Lancaster, which I think is so cool. And I'm probably going to put that as a fact when I do his. But he's from Lancaster, which is actually the town that's like right next to the town that I currently live in. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like does he ever come back to Lancaster? But yeah, so I just look them up on IMDb. Some of them are harder than others, and I may or may not put them in a thing, but
right.
so a lot of it is like Instagram, if they have a public Instagram, or just like it's kind of looking up social media or IMDb. Like a lot of them have gone on to other soap operas or movies or directing, or like I said, James Hyde. I think he's going to actually be in a vertical drama. Is it that like those little shorts that are really popular nowadays?
Hmm.
I think I read that he's going to be in one of those here soon. So yeah, so that's kind of how I find the information. I would like to do a series at some point, and it's just I have to kind of get my life together. So I'm a therapist. That's like my job, but I would love to do a like how I would diagnose the characters, not the cast, and I don't know them,
Right.
but the characters on Passions, because there's some mental health stuff going on with a lot of the characters, and
And
so
I can agree on that.
so that's something I would like to eventually do. I just have to sit down and really like like rewatch the show and like psychoanalyze and all that good stuff. So
Yeah.
one day.
Uh, yeah, I mean, like I said, you should I might have given you the link. I can't remember. You should see my passions Instagram. I think I gave you the link to mine. I can't remember if I did or
Yep,
not.
you did.
I don't I
I
don't
think I was following you prior to this.
yeah, I don't post on it that much, but it's really just if I find something passions, I'll post it on there, but I'm not on it all the time or whatever because again, um I just I'm just trying to find whatever I can that's got to do with passions, and so I just yeah, and I can, um I mean really, I think Casey, I don't know what you think or whatever, sweetie, but the truth of it is just as far as I know of, like I said, because like you agreed with me and everything. Yeah, a lot of the actors don't really show what they're doing nowadays online, even on IMDb or whatever, but for the most part, I really think that you can find mostly everybody. I really think the only person that you're probably not going to find is Emily Harper, aka Fancy. I think she's the
Yeah.
only one that you're probably not going to really find basically anything because on both Wikipedia and IMDb, even amazingly, she's got a Wikipedia, is really the only thing that you can really find of her is Passions, and that's pretty much it. I mean, if you saw our show with Christopher Malecki, he basically said, then she's not acting anymore. That's why she's just simply not acting anymore. If you can't find her anywhere on the radar, if there's like nothing else on her IMDb or her Wikipedia, then that means she's just not acting
Maybe
anymore.
she wanted to go private, you know. Maybe she wants to keep everything private, you know.
Yeah.
Well, the
Some
thing I
people
say,
have private lives.
right, I say about that is that, at least the way that I see it, I don't know. I've yet to really find anybody, and I'm talking about anybody from soap operas to movies to television, you name it. I've yet to really find any actor, even if they have quit acting, I've yet to find any actor who necessarily has a private life, if you know what I mean. Anybody who has been on the screen ever, their life is never, ever, ever private. Even if they've stopped acting, it doesn't matter. Again, we still know where they are. We still know what they're doing. We still know what they're up to. There's just something about Emily that's really has secured whatever, yeah.
And
Yeah.
she just disappeared.
Yeah.
Sounds like I know, so she's also from Ohio, which I didn't know.
And so is Heidi K.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, she mentioned that on Passions Live when somebody called in and they said they were from Ohio. They're like, Eric's like, oh, we got an Ohioan over here, and they're like, that's great. Where from? I'm from Cincinnati. Where are you from? I'm from Delver. Oh.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's Ohio just bringing all the talent. Yeah, no, so I wonder, and she was a Lakers girl prior to Passions.
Heidi?
Emily.
Oh, Emily.
Yep, she was a Lakers girl.
Yeah, I've been saying to Casey several times. Again, it's always an if. There's never a when it comes to this. But I keep on Casey. I've been saying to Casey several times that if Passions ever got a reboot or whatever, and it was ever able to come back, what are they going to do about a fancy? Nobody knows where the hell Emily Harper is. Mackenzie, Galen, they all say that they have no idea of where she is and that nobody has any contact with her and all that. And it's just, yes, I get it. Mackenzie has already said already, which kind of annoys me or whatever. Mackenzie has already said and everything that she has already made it clear that she's not coming back to Passions unless they put Sheridan and Louise together. And Galen has pretty much backed that up and everything. They want
I agree.
No!
I agree. I
I
agree.
like the way the show ended. I love how the couples ended up.
Oh my, okay, so like I said, I'm just in the 500s. So where I am right now is literally, I think Teresa just went to Bermuda to try to convince Julian to adopt Ethan. It's after their whole, like, the tabloid thing exploded. So like, in their wedding day went awry. But like, and I only say this, I haven't seen that last season. Like, I haven't seen past probably like 2005, 2000, like maybe early 2006-ish. I know what happens kind of ish because just spoilers and looking up online and stuff like that. But the buildup of Louise and Sheridan, like, to me is just like so they were like meant to be. Like, they were together in every other lifetime, and then to like not have them end up together, it would, like, to me that's equivalent to like Teresa and Ethan not ending up together, which would have been
see, I get into a lot of bickers with a lot of people when it comes to Louise and Fancy and Sheridan, but you see, I don't really see it that way with Louise and Sheridan. To me, Louise and Sheridan's build up, Casey, I don't know what you think, sweetie, so you can actually say your piece after me, but to me, Louise and Sheridan's build up was really no different than Miguel and Charity or Noah and Fancy and all that. They didn't end up together, and that's just how it is. You know what I mean? They weren't, they ended up with other people. And that's what really, really, really annoys me about Passions, is that so many people throw the rocks at it. While they love it, they throw the rocks at it just because the couples that started off together, and with the exception of Ethan and Teresa, didn't end up together. And I'm like thinking, guys, it's a soap opera. I mean, seriously, people move on from couple to couple to couple to couple. I mean, ever since, I mean, again, I just use this as an example. I mean, well, this has kind of become Eric Martzoff's character, the poor guy. I mean, ever since Eric joined Days as Brady, he hasn't gotten one woman, for crying out loud. He has gone from woman to woman to woman to woman to woman to woman to woman. He's just, he can't, it's like when he basically started, whenever Eric did interviews, he said that he has basically gone from being Brady Black to Brady Black Widow. Basically, every time if you get into a relationship with Brady Black, you're bound to lose your life and all that, because so many of his girls have either died, they've left him, or they betrayed him and all that. As I like to say, poor Brady can't keep a lady. That's what I like to say.
Poor Brady.
So,
and now I need to watch Days.
Yeah, and so on Days or whatever. And so I'm just saying, get over it. Okay, Miguel and Charity didn't end up together. So what? Noah and Fancy didn't end up together. So what? And I'm going to say it, Luis and Sheridan didn't end up together. So what? Who cares? It's still a great show. And Fancy was just fine. There was nothing wrong with Fancy. I mean, whenever I compare the two, I mean, and don't get me wrong. I will make this known right here and now. I've said this before. I'll say it again. I do not regret anything about when Luis and Sheridan were together. When they were together, they were cute. Yeah, they were a good couple. I don't say that they never should have been together. But the point of it is, they didn't end up together. So people really shouldn't throw the rocks at it and say they ruined our show because they put Luis with Fancy and everything. I kind of put it that, Sheridan, while being great, she was whiny an awful lot. And then later on, think about it, she became an antagonist, for crying out loud, later on. Fancy, on the other hand, was almost like a princess. I mean, yeah, she whined too. Don't get me wrong. There were a number of times where Fancy was a real whiner, but think about it. Compared to how much Sheridan complained, Fancy was off becoming a cop, for crying out loud. So, I mean, that's a lot more than what Sheridan did. So, yeah. I mean...
See, I agree. So, I think, like, having started it from the beginning now, because actually, like, when I first watched it, like, I would fast forward. Like, when I was, like, 13, I was fast forward through Sheridan, and I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. I loved Ethan and Teresa. I was like, whatever. But like watching from the beginning, like Sheridan was such a badass. Like she like had a black belt. Like she was just so like tough and like, yeah, go Sheridan. And then like seems like over like between like 2002, like 2001, 2003, something happened. And I know it was like like she lost her memory and all that.
Yeah.
And like I feel like her, like the way that she like functioned, like the way that the writers wrote her, but like the way that she functioned changed. Like she was like, oh, like Luis, save me. Like I remember watching, I just did a watch for like there's another Passions podcast that like I watched the 900s. I want to say it was like 900 to 905 maybe or something. It was the wedding.
I remember the number of episodes.
Just because I got the email to watch these specific episodes, so that's why I remember. But it was the wedding of like Beth and Luis and Sheridan and Antonio. And like the whole time Sheridan's like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to marry him. I love Luis. And Luis is like, I love Sheridan. And, you know, then Sheridan's like, wait, like she doesn't ever speak up and say like, I love Luis. Like, that's who I want to be with. You know, like I can't marry Antonio, even though he's dying or whatever, you know, and like so she's like, just like very like weak and like not weak, but just very like, yeah, like passive and weak and like, oh, like Luis saved me. There's even like a dream sequence where like Luis like rides in on like a white horse, and
I never
you
saw
you
that episode,
remember
but I saw a
this?
clip of that.
Yeah, and I'm just like beginning Sheridan, like Sheridan, who didn't care about, you know, Luis being a police officer and all that, would never just be like, oh, Luis, come save me from this wedding that I don't want to have. Like, so that was always like, I feel like
that sounds more like Teresa.
Teresa, see, Teresa to me, Teresa's kind of a badass to me. Like, she, in the sense that, like, she always set her sight on Ethan, and she knew,
Yep.
like, I am gonna be with Ethan. So, like, if whatever I have to do, if I have to marry Alistair, if I have to, you know, marry Julian, you know, like pretend that my baby belongs to Julian for however long. Like, she was like, I'm in it to win it. Like
No other soap has done that before. Usually with almost every soap opera, their main characters switched. Whereas Passions, it was Ethan and Teresa for all these years, all the way to the end. I was like, how did they manage to get away with that? They never for 1 minute made anybody else the second, like other main characters. It was always Ethan and Teresa.
Well, Teresa was with Jalet at one point.
Yes, and it's also with Fox as well. But I'm just saying, and that all is entirely true. But Ethan and Teresa were the main characters from beginning to end, and no other soap opera does that. They move around. They pick up new main characters. They let old characters go. Other old characters quit. Old characters die, you know, and stuff like that. So Passions was the only one I've ever seen to actually do that.
I feel like Teresa and Ethan were like, I feel like they set up the whole show almost like around them. Like, I knew from the beginning it felt like, and I don't know if maybe it was just like people just really loved that like triangle. People just maybe love Teresa. Like, I think that Lindsay is a great actress.
Oh, totally.
And that is probably why people just like liked her, because, and I think I may have said this last time, or I may have just thought it, but when Lindsay was on maternity leave, like the summer of 2004, I feel like, or something like that.
Of the temporary replacements. Love Nick Stabile. Love Nick.
Yeah, Stabile. I think he's great. I think Priscilla Garitas. I don't know how you say her last name. I can't
remember her name.
It's Priscilla something. But I thought she was great. But like, you really see that Teresa is supposed to be a villain. Like, the way that she acted as Teresa was very like villainy. And there's a side-by-side clip of like her doing this scene, and then Lindsay when she comes back and like does the scene, and it feels different. Like, and I don't know if it's just people like latched on to Lindsay because, like, you know, that's Teresa, but it just felt different. Like, I think that the way that she was written was supposed to be a villain in some sense, but
I never Lindsay picked that
up. But like the way that Lindsay acted, like, it was hard to not like her. Now, there are people like on my TikTok, I always like did a Team Gwen or Team Teresa.
Of course.
There were a lot of people who love Gwen. And, you know, and so the thing, okay, I feel like I'm talking a lot, so y'all can stop me or interrupt me or whatever.
Well, no, that's kind of why we want you on the show. We need other stuff here to discuss with the show. So you're good. You're good for right now. Yeah.
So my opinion with Gwen. So I would say when I first watched the show when I was like 13, did not like Gwen. Like, I was like, she's the worst. Like, Teresa, you go get your man. Like, all that. But now as an adult, like, now I'm 35. I'm married. Like, watching Gwen, like, I understand Gwen better. Like, I understand why she did what she did. Honestly, to me, and I want to do a video about this at some point, but to me, Ethan is the villain of this triangle. Like,
oh, jeez.
Oh my gosh, no. I 100%, Ethan is the villain in this love triangle because he gaslit Teresa and Gwen so bad. Like, he would constantly like, Gwen, oh no, I'm married to you. I love you. Even like to Teresa, he's like, I think I have a video on my TikTok. He's like, I love you, Gwen. Like, I'll never leave Gwen. That's my wife, you know? And then Teresa, like, in like the shadows, he's like, I do love you. Like, there was one scene, oh my gosh, it was maybe like the tsunami. And I actually am not there. I've never actually seen it live or seen it like when it was on TV or anything. But I
I
just thought
did.
you did, like, there's a part when she's in the hospital and he says something like, we have to like keep our love like locked in our hearts and blah blah blah. And like, so you're telling Teresa like, you're the only person for me. I love you so much, blah blah blah. But then over here, when you're with your wife, when you're with Gwen, you're like,
Did
I'm
the
married
same thing.
to you. I love you. So to me, boo, Ethan, you're a villain. You suck. Like, I love Ethan. I love them together, like
Yeah.
Ethan and Teresa. Him as a person, him as a character, like his character person, boo to him for being a gaslighter and lying constantly.
I could bet you almost anything that if Eric Martzoff were to hear you say that, he would probably laugh and totally disagree
Probably.
because he I mean that's just that was always the thing that whenever people try to they talk to him, well, they don't really do this that much anymore because nowadays, I mean, because now that Eric is no longer a new character on Days, he's been on for way too long now. But back in the beginning, they were always asking him and comparing him to between Ethan and Brady and all that stuff, and he would always say that Ethan was a do-gooder in every sense of the word. He was always trying to do the right thing, and he said that by being cast as Brady, he really, really, really enjoys it because he doesn't have to play Vanilla Ice Cream anymore. He can basically be something completely different and darker and again, a heavy drinker, and he's got some hair on his face and all that stuff. He really said that. He actually said Ethan would never have hair on his face. Never. I shaved like 4 times a day when I played Ethan. It was ridiculous, or whatever.
Unless he was like falling apart or something, maybe if like Ethan was like in like a crisis or something, maybe. But even
that would probably be again for Casey and I. This is always an if, never a when. If Passions was to ever get a reboot, and if Eric was able to do both, if he was, because again, Days of Our Lives films like 4 or 6 months in advance, whereas Passions, I don't know how far ahead and how far it obviously wasn't that they obviously didn't film that far apart because come the end of the show they were wrapping everything up with the speed of light and everything and stuff like that, and it seemed like a lot of whenever they would need a temporary cast replacement, the cast replacement would kind of just show up out of nowhere, whereas on Days this stuff is like planned way ahead and all that stuff and everything, so we have plenty of time to get adjusted and everything. But anyhow, I was just about to say that if Passions was ever going to reboot, and if Eric was able to do both, like do Days at this time and then come and film Passions at this time, but if he refused to shave his Brady hair to do Ethan, that is one way for fans to just start hating the character. People would
be horrible.
Yeah, people would start rooting for him to get off the show if he refused to shave in between shows. I just know it because again, that was one of the reasons why everybody loved Ethan so much, because he was such a do-gooder and always trying to do the right thing, whereas Brady is the complete opposite. Brady is out there blackmailing people and he's beating the shit out of people and he's getting drunk and he's he's got a daughter right now. Right, I'll tell you this, Casey, you said that you wanted to start watching. You should start watching right now, Casey. I mean I don't think this is very much of a spoiler to reveal this for Days fans out there, but right now Eric's character of Brady is right now in court trying to protect his daughter because he's got a little daughter, a little girl, Rachel, who's basically confessing in court that she shot her uncle EJ and everything, and here's Brady trying to defend her daughter and all this stuff. So he's really getting some storylines and everything. You barely see Galen that much. Poor Rafe. Galen's barely getting anything to do, but Brady's getting a lot. So if you tune in now, Casey, on Days, you'll be seeing quite a bit of Eric. So yeah, but no, that's what I'm trying to say or whatever is I think he would totally disagree and not see himself as a villain like at all. He always thought of himself as a do-gooder.
See, I can see, I mean, I think that, okay, so if I thought that he was a do-gooder, which maybe his heart was in the right place and his action was not, because to me, so there was even a scene I watched like recently, like it was I'm not, like I said, I'm not there yet, but it's probably like 2006, 2007 maybe. And Jared is in it, and he said, okay, it's Chad and Ethan, and they're talking there, and like the Crane office is talking or something. And Ethan's like, oh yeah, like Jared and Teresa, like, yeah, whatever, like that's not gonna last. Like he doesn't know that I'm like still sleeping with Teresa or something. And not Fox, Chad's like, oh my gosh, you're still sleeping with Teresa? And like they have this like back and forth, and Ethan says something like, I know, like I'm not, one to cheat or something like that. And I'm just like, you literally have been cheating from like season 1, basically. Like you cheated on and off with Teresa for like this entire show, whether you meant to or not, which like, how do you accidentally cheat? Like, yeah, there are some times where Teresa like comes on to him and like kisses him, but he doesn't like rip himself away every time. Like he kisses back. Like even when
he's definitely not Noah. Whenever Fancy was coming on to him, Noah would try to pull away. Ethan, no.
Yeah, like he didn't pull away from Teresa. Like he voluntarily kissed her. He voluntarily slept with her. Even when she drugged him and took advantage of him or whatever, when she wore the blonde wig, like he knew it was Teresa and he still like slept with her. So to me, like this line where he's like, Chad's like, oh no, you're like usually so good. And he's like, yeah, like I'm not really one to cheat or something like that. I'm like, but you are. But you cheated this whole show. Like you were cheating when you met Teresa and kissed her on the pier and said, oh, you were upset, so I kissed you. Like,
okay.
You were upset, so I kissed you. Like I made out with you because you were crying about something, like. Okay. So I don't know. You probably never seen that because that's definitely like 1999 season 1 type. Season 1, maybe season 2.
If I'm gonna watch the show and like really watch, because don't get me wrong, I've watched the first few number of episodes a good number of times. I mean, I've watched like say maybe the first, I don't know, say about 4, 5, 6 episodes from the beginning, but not that far, and then never went further. If I'm really gonna watch the show from the very beginning and then go all the way to the end, I need to watch it with somebody. I can't do it alone. I'm just not the kind of person that can sit and watch such a great show like that all by myself. I need somebody there.
Totally start from the beginning, because there's a lot of stuff, like there's just a lot of, like, to me, like inconsistency. Like I think how they wanted Ethan to be like this do-gooder and stuff like that, and maybe that was how they intended him to be or wrote him or whatever.
Like I said, he's definitely a do-gooder compared to how he is on Days right now. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure, I haven't watched Days, but I'm sure, I know that Brady, I've seen some clips. I know Brady, even like I think
a lot to do right now. He is. So, I mean, he's kind of going. Let's just put it this way: Passions, Eric was constantly like worrying about Ethan and Gwen, and I'm sorry, Teresa and Gwen and all that stuff or whatever. Here, where he was going back and forth between the two girls, here he's basically going back and forth on whether or not to protect his daughter or have her put away or something or whatever. Right now he's really, really, really struggling, because just when he thinks that his little girl couldn't possibly do something wrong or whatever, but then all of a sudden his son Tate and his girlfriend Holly, who I'm so upset are leaving the show, the two of them, they show up and they're actually accusing his daughter Rachel of switching Holly's medicine to something else or whatever, and then Brady's like, you really believe that she did it? Yes, she did it. Oh God. Oh no. Oh God. And then he's got this to worry about, and here they are about.
Oh my gosh, his daughter sounds.
Here they are about to go into court, and his daughter is confessing that she shot her uncle EJ, and he's got to worry about that. And like I said, I don't think it's any spoilers for you Days fans. I mean, I think all of you out there who watch Days, I'm sure all of you have seen this already. But basically, where we left off, his daughter Rachel has been ordered by the judge to be readmitted back into a psych ward or whatever, which is where she was for a number of episodes. She was in a mental hospital or something, and then they released her, and the judge has just ordered that she's got to go back. I can only imagine what she's going to say when she hears this. I mean, today's Thursday. Tomorrow we get tomorrow we get like um one episode tomorrow or whatever before the weekend, and I don't know if they'll appear tomorrow, but I can just imagine of how Rachel is gonna react when she finds out she's got to go back. So yeah, I mean Ethan was a saint compared to Brady, so yeah.
I think Ethan as a person, like I think he tried to do the right thing in some sense. I think he just was more, I don't know. I think that there was a lot of like issues, like not issues, but like he just like lusted after Teresa too. Like, I mean, I think he obviously loved her, but I think there was also like this sexual lusty component to it too. I think I mean, maybe he tried to do good. To me, it's one of those like, what is that saying? The road to something is paved with good intentions. Like he maybe had good intentions, but they didn't.
You're still on are you on where Travis is still Ethan, or are you on Eric now?
Travis is still Ethan, but
Well, maybe
when I picked it up,
maybe you'll think differently when Eric comes on.
but when I started watching it in 2004, Eric was like, so I actually, when I started watching it back in 2004, I didn't even know that there was another Ethan.
There's 3 Ethans.
Yeah, like I had no idea that there was another Ethan. I only found out because like I would, like it was 2004. I would like go online and look up like Passion spoilers and go to like the website, and I would see like pictures of the original cast, and I'm like, who are these people? Like like the original Chad and the original Ethan.
Miguel and the original Kay.
Like, yeah, because like I don't think that Jesse wasn't Miguel when I started watching. I think
It had
that
to have been Adrian, yeah. That's not what he goes by anymore. He goes by something
I
else.
was Jesse when he was on.
wasn't
Mm,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
was.
because I also watched Desperate Housewives like a little bit.
That's why he left Passions. Was
Yeah.
Desperate Housewives.
So
I only watched Desperate Housewives because my all-time favorite actor, my hero, my idol, my everything when it comes to acting, Roger Bart, was on that show as that crazy pharmacist or whatever, obsessed with Bree and everything. I only watched basically his storylines, and after he died, I didn't watch anymore. So I never really got to see Jesse
for too long. I didn't watch it for too long, but because it was just a lot. But yeah, like I didn't know like a lot of the original cast. I think that Charity was even gone by the time I started watching it. Like I don't remember.
She had to have been because if you say that Jesse wasn't well, let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this. Did you see or had it passed already when you started watching when Miguel was being accused of hitting Fox with his car?
Nope, I have not seen that.
No, I'm talking about at the time when you started watching that.
No, I hadn't. I don't even.
Then that was to come up. Oh, well then you probably saw the replacement Charity then, because Charity did come back, but it was a recast and it was only temporary.
Okay, maybe I don't remember all of that. Like when I started watching, I know Fox
had basically turned into a villain when Justin left, and
so I hadn't seen any. So I actually stopped watching before Justin. I think before Justin left the show. So when I started watching, Fox, there was the whole Fox and Whitney triangle, like
Justin. Okay,
Fox,
that was Justin then.
Chad, Whitney triangle. She was pregnant with Miles, but she like moved to became a nun or whatever.
I don't remember any of that.
Okay, and then
I do.
yeah, and then
yeah, Casey, you remember this stuff better than I do, sweetie. You've been watching since the beginning. I haven't, so
yeah. So and she became a nun, and then oh my gosh, like Teresa married Alistair. I stopped watching shortly after I think Teresa married Alistair. Like I probably watched for maybe a few months after that, on and off, because I was like 15, 16, something like that. It came on while I was at school. I would have to like record it to watch it.
Me too.
And I don't know, I think I just kind of like, I would read the spoilers, but I wouldn't necessarily watch the show sometimes. So it was like shortly after Teresa married Alistair. I think I saw when they all went to Italy, maybe the the Vatican. Oh my gosh, it was a big thing at that time. What was it? The Da Vinci Code. I
I
think
have no idea. I don't know. I don't know any of that stuff.
I like that was kind of when I like kind of was like not watching it as much. Um, so yeah, so that's my like
Yeah, I don't know. I just um because in all honesty or whatever, I mean, because for me, believe me, when Miguel and Charity were together, my heart always melts and everything. I mean, Charity, she beautiful. She, oh my God, she adorable, sexy, beautiful, blonde angel from
I,
heaven. I just adored her. And it upsets me so very, 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 very much that I mean, we all know how it ends and stuff like that, but it still upsets me that Miguel and Charity didn't at least marry temporarily and then maybe get a divorce. They made it to the altar, but we weren't able to say their I do's and their vows and get married, unfortunately, and that always upset me that they didn't even get to get married temporarily. That kind of brought me down. But and so like I said, I adore Charity, but no, I like it that he ended up with Kay and all that
I
stuff.
didn't,
Huh?
and I did not like when Childy became a zombie.
Oh,
Remember
that whole
zombie
thing.
Childy?
I
oh, I
don't
haven't
even,
gotten
because again,
any.
I wasn't watching back in those days. I know that it was Deanna Wright who was Kay during all of that, but I don't even know how the whole zombie charity thing got started because I wasn't watching. It was just all I'm hearing about all over the place is zombie charity. And I'm like, what the hell is zombie charity and all that? And I've seen some clips. I was just always under the impression that it was nothing more than just, I don't know, that she was just possessed by the demons of hell, like, from Tabitha's world and stuff like that. That was all I was believing it was, but apparently it went on for a good while with this whole zombie charity thing and everything. So I don't even know how that got started. I don't know anything about it. I wasn't watching all that, um but no, I'm glad that he ended up with Kay. I just think that Kay, despite how beautiful Charity was and how romantic and sweet she was, I just think that Kay, Kay saw him first. Kay loved him since she was a kid, even though I keep thinking to myself, how does she even know what love is at that age? And all that kind of stuff. And not to mention, I mean, she did some bad things, don't get me wrong. She did do some bad things, but in the end, she did have his kid in the end and all that stuff or whatever. And so it's only right that Miguel should be with her and all that stuff. And I mean, Noah and Paloma is my favorite couple and all that stuff. You don't really hear very many people talk about them that much or whatever, but they're like my favorite couple on the show and all that stuff. And like I said, going back to kind of how we started with this thing, I liked Luis and Sheridan when they were together and everything, and they were good for the time and everything. But again, I mean, after a while, they turned Sheridan into, well, a totally different character, aka an antagonist, a villainous, and all that stuff. And um, I'm always complaining. I'm always I've been saying for many, many years that when you look at Days of Our Lives, that I mean, so many people wanted and even got for a time, they wanted Sammy and EJ together. When all I can say is that's terrible. Why in the world would you put a character with her rapist? I mean, come on, that's just disgusting. And back at the time, there was so many Sammy EJ rooters, and now Sammy's not even on the show anymore or whatever. Now EJ is, but Sammy's not there anymore, so there is no more of that. But back at the time, I always considered the character of Sammy stupid to keep going back to him over and over and over again. I mean, and stuff like that when he freaking raped her. So and all that stuff or whatever. But so I keep on thinking, with all the evil that Sheridan did or whatever to get Luis, why would people root for somebody like that? Why would they root for a character who resulted to doing the spawn of Satan and everything just to get a guy? It's just not. I mean, Kay did similar. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
And Teresa did some wildly
I mean,
terrible
yeah,
things.
they all did bad things. I think all the characters did bad things. I don't think anybody in Harmony is 100% innocent.
Innocent,
I
I
think
agree.
I think everybody has done some bad stuff, but But for Sheridan to actually go as far as to actually, I mean, to try and kill Teresa, I mean, I know you haven't gotten to this spot yet. Again, it's a part of the final season, but for her to consider, she thought about it. She actually considered having Fancy kill Paloma, because then Luis would leave Fancy to be with her and all that kind of stuff. And even when the character was temporarily recast with Cam Heskin during the final season and everything, she was actually willing to let everybody in Harmony be poisoned so that Luis would not get Sheridan. Even though she changed her mind for both of those, she still thought of it. That's not really something that I can think of anybody else in Harmony doing. They wouldn't go as far as to actually, even Kay wouldn't do that. I mean, okay, yeah, Kay was willing to let Charity die and everything, but I mean, that's another story, if you know what I mean. That's not a freaking, that's not your true love's family member, for crying out loud. I mean, Sheridan tried to kill Luis's own sister. That's going a little too far, and was willing to let Paloma die. Sheridan went further than everybody else did. Gwen did too. Sheridan and Gwen were the two that I think went the furthest when it came to doing bad.
Yep.
But once again, nobody in Harmony is innocent.
Do whatever they want just for a man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
I definitely. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to
No,
interrupt.
go ahead. It's okay.
I definitely, so I'm not there yet, but I do. I mean, I agree. I hate it, and I think I probably said this the last time, that like the show was so like these women like were always fighting over a man. Like it was like Teresa was always fighting Gwen. Gwen was always fighting Teresa over Ethan. Kay is always, fighting somebody over Miguel, like Charity, or like it was always like so male centered.
Mm-hmm.
Which I get, like it's a soap opera, like of course, but like I wish, like to me, I wish that we would have seen Gwen have more like friends outside of Sheridan who were like, girl, like let this man go. Like I wish that we would have got a love for Gwen, like maybe her and Hank hooked up. That is like my dream, if they would have hooked up.
That's what a lot of people had been saying, and I'm like, where does anything of that come into play?
Always, like to me, like at the beginning, because like, okay, so like when Ethan leaves Gwen like the night before their wedding, and she's like, I gotta get Ethan back. Like to me, if you left me the night before my wedding, screw you. Like I am done with you as a person. But like I wish they would have had like just a brief like Gwen Hank hookup, because I feel like Gwen just like her whole story was like, I can't let Teresa have my husband. I'm married. I love Ethan. And like I think even towards the end it became like I don't even think she loved Ethan, but I think it was like, I just don't want Teresa to.
Well, no, in the beginning it was love, but later on it became just being pure evil, because in the beginning it was all about, like you said, wanting her husband and all that stuff, but then later on, she basically didn't really care. She was willing to let everybody flipping die if it meant getting him, and that's where it transformed into evilness and all that stuff. And
yeah,
so
like I mean,
that's where she became basically the main villain, along with Rebecca. So yeah.
So I definitely think that Gwen, I wish they would have just developed her more like outside of Ethan, and I know that doesn't like fit the storyline or whatever, because I think even Liza was on like Soap Talk at one point, and they were like, is Gwen gonna find another love, like maybe she cheats on Ethan or something, and she's like, no, I think that we're pretty centered around Ethan at this point, so
Liza apparently enjoyed it. She even mentioned that on Passions Live. I get to fight after you for all.
I remember that.
Yeah, so I mean, again, I haven't watched the full show. I have not watched the full show, so I don't know. But with what you're talking about them always fighting over a man, personally, I really think the only woman from what I've seen, I really think the only woman that wasn't fighting over a man, but it was the man fighting over her, was Paloma. I think she was like the only one that was never, she wasn't fighting for Roberto. She wasn't fighting for Noah. She was the one that left them, and they were the ones trying to get her.
Oh, I
So
can't wait to get to that part because I need some like female empowerment,
yeah,
like
I mean, has Paloma been introduced yet?
no, Paloma, I didn't see her like when I was originally watching back in 2004, 2005, 2006, whatever. She was on the show. She was still with Noah, I think, when I stopped watching it.
Like
Or
I said,
no,
one of
she
my
was
favorite
still
shows.
with I don't even know if she was with anybody. Noah was with Fancy when I stopped watching.
Mm.
Yeah, so who Paloma was with, I have no idea, honestly. Like she was partying with
Well, I know. I mean, I
Jessica.
can like because again, even though I wasn't watching, there's a good number of clips on YouTube, and it's actually kind of cool to actually rewatch them, even though the quality is shit. Um, Paloma was with another guy named Roberto for a time who actually did propose to her and all that stuff, but she turned him down. He was played by a different actor at the time, and then I don't know because again, I didn't see that storyline. I just seen the clips, but he did leave the show, and that gave her, I guess, space to go fall in love with Noah and all that stuff, and then they became my favorite couple on the show. And then come DirecTV when Paloma had been recast with Anya Geelan, who was definitely good with what she was given. She definitely, Silvana Arias is the best Paloma, but Anya was good with what she was given. She was all right. I just didn't see as much chemistry between Noah and Paloma. And to be totally honest, I saw a lot more sexual chemistry than I saw romantic chemistry between Paloma's recast than I did, and than the original. Anyways, when the show moved to DirecTV and Paloma was recast, later on, Roberto returned as a recast and everything, who basically was only there just to steal Paloma away, and then it formed kind of a rivalry between Noah and Roberto, where they were basically fighting. And here's Paloma basically saying to Noah, "I do love you. There's no reason for a fight," even though Roberto is basically doing all these things that clearly show, yeah, there is a reason for a fight. Seriously, this guy is doing everything to try and steal you away from your fiance, for crying out loud. He's giving you roses and he's making dinners for you. He's inviting you up to have sex, all that stuff. That's not something that just friends do, for crying out loud. That gives Noah full key to go up there and kick his ass. I mean, seriously. And here Paloma is just like I don't need you to defend me, Noah. I don't need you to fight and all that stuff. Yeah, you do, or whatever. But so yeah, for once that character actually. You okay there, Casey?
Yeah, I was texting Jeff real
Oh,
quick.
you're using a phone, aren't you?
Yeah,
Oh, that might explain something with maybe your screen being like that. I kept thinking you were using a computer. I was gonna say maybe you should get a new webcam, but your phone is your webcam. Anyways,
yeah.
like I said, that was like the only time out of all the girls that I can remember where it was actually the guys fighting for her, but Paloma was the only one not fighting for a guy. When she
I
left
love that.
Roberto, she left him in the dust. When she got with Noah, she truly loved him. They had beautiful, wonderful, romantic chemistry. When it was Silvana and Dylan, they were so beautiful together and everything. They got engaged, almost got married while Luis was in prison, but that ended up getting called off, but they were still engaged and all that stuff and everything, and it went beautiful. And like I said, the show, she had basically left Roberto in the dust or whatever for all these years and everything, and there was not a word of Roberto or anything for many, 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 many years. And when the show moved to DirecTV, that's when Noah and Paloma actually started arguing and bickering with each other. They never bickered when it was Silvano. When Anya came on, I just knew that this couple was going to start having problems and everything, and I really didn't like that. But but um, but she was engaged. She even for a time, there was a time where she broke up with Noah and stuff like that and everything, because she thought that he was cheating on her with Fancy and all that stuff and everything. And she actually broke up with Noah. She didn't look back. She was constantly telling him several times, "Leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone," and all that stuff. But Noah wouldn't give up. He's kind of like me in a way, sort of. When you go after a girl, you don't stop until you get her. He's kind of like me, even though that is kind of stalkerish and harassment. But she but no, that was what was going on there until she finally forgave him, and they got re-engaged or whatever. And so, like I said, throughout Paloma's time on the show, she was never fighting for a guy. They were all fighting for her. When she got with a man, she was with the man, but she never fought for him. It was always guys fighting for her.
I love that because I feel like maybe that's like a good counter, like her sister's Teresa, who like would do anything to be with Ethan. So like I love that someone in the Lopez Fitzgerald family was like, I'm not gonna chase after this man. Like you come to me or I won't have you. So I can't wait to get to that because yeah, I think that one thing I also was sorry.
What's that? Go ahead. You finish first, very quick. Go ahead.
I'll be one thing I also was thinking about recently. Wait, were you talking? I'm sorry.
I like it too because I want a man to chase after me, not them chase after them.
Exactly. I'm not doing all that work.
I don't think you gotta worry about that, Casey, sweetie. You got a guy who you seem to really care an awful lot about, so I don't think you gotta worry about that.
Yeah, like I get that. Like I don't want to. I want to be chased. Like I'm not doing all the crazy stuff that Teresa did for a man. Like even about like
I think I have a really quick enough time. I think I have enough time to actually admit this. I actually did, for a brief time in my life, I kind of had my own Ethan, Teresa, Gwen storyline in my life one time. It was around the time when I was like still in school, and then I graduated, and it kind of followed me even to the woman that I did marry, who I'm now divorced from, and everything. Is that I remember, like, when I was in school, there was this one girl. I guess this girl would kind of be considered the Gwen, sort of, or whatever, because I remember I asked her to the winter dance, and she said, I'll think about it, but I didn't have time to lose. I needed an answer before it was out of time to buy tickets. And so before she could give me an answer, I asked this other girl, and she immediately, without any seconds, said yes, and she was very, very, very excited for it, and that got that other girl very jealous, like, hey, you asked me first. And I said, I'm sorry, but I needed an answer. There was no time. And before I knew it, me and this other girl, I guess who was the Teresa, she became my girlfriend and was my true love for a time and everything. Well, the other girl ended up chasing after me, and she was doing everything she could to try and break us up. I remember at my graduation party, because she was there, she took me behind a tree and tried saying, please, you asked me to the dance first. We should be together. You need to break up with her and be with me, and all that kind of stuff. And like literally, she was doing that. It was literally like that. And then of course, me and the other girl, we did break up and everything, and so I went out with the other girl, but the other girl turned out to be nothing but a control freak and really just wanted to know where I was at every minute of every day. And then when her and I broke up, she became one of those kind of people out there that if I can't have him, then nobody can kind of person and stuff like that. And she was basically out there trying to ruin every relationship in my life. And then I got married. She followed me even into this marriage and everything, where she ended up getting close to my ex-wife's mother and tried saying stuff to her mother and all that stuff, and tried spilling our secrets and all that stuff. And
oh my God,
really, she started sending adult protective services to our apartment, and she really became like the Gwen, if you know what I mean. And here I was the Ethan of these relationships. So I kind of had my own Ethan Teresa story in my life. It was crazy. Luckily, she seems to have disappeared. I don't know whatever happened to her, but she kind of just disappeared.
Are you glad though?
Huh?
Are you glad that she left you alone now?
Oh, definitely, yes. Yeah, I mean, when I got married, and my now ex-wife, she kept on wanting me to just make up with her, not as a girlfriend, but just as a friend, so that we can stop fighting. But I was like, no, I don't want anything to do with her. I don't want to be her friend. Stop it. But my wife wouldn't stop and everything, and the other girl wouldn't stop harassing and stalking us. And like I said, we got several visits from adult protective services and stuff like that, and the cops were showing up at our door, and like I said, when she finally, I'm definitely glad when she finally disappeared. Thank you, Lord. I feel the same way that in the end that Ethan felt about Gwen when he finally was able to be with Teresa in the finale. I feel the exact same way, absolutely. So yeah, no troubles there. uh, but but no, I mean, like I was saying before, or whatever. I mean, yeah, I mean, like we were talking about in the very beginning, even whether or I mean, the thing of it is, whether they put Luis back with Sheridan or not, they still would need to begin it with Luis and Fancy. The show needs to pick up not exactly where it left off, but the couples need to start off where it left off before they could start making changes. If the show was just rebooted and all of a sudden Luis was with Sheridan, that's going to confuse a lot of fans. And the same thing was like if they put, I don't know, like if they broke Kay and Miguel up or whatever and brought Charity back and Miguel was back with Charity and the show was rebooted. That wouldn't make any sense. So Luis needs to start with Fancy at least before they put him back with Sheridan. How are they going to do that? If they can't find Emily, are they going to recast Fancy? I mean, they did it one time and that recast for 2 days wasn't really the best. She really wasn't. I mean, you just ask Casey here. I mean, Chrissy Carlson, who temporarily played Fancy for like 2 episodes, wasn't really the best Fancy, if you know what I mean. It seemed
No.
it was obvious. I mean, Emily Harper, I believe, had the flu, I think, or something, and so they had to get a replacement, but it seemed very much like they kind of just said, oh my God, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? Emily's sick. We got to film here. What are we going to do? We need a Fancy. You play Fancy. Come here. We need a Fancy. Go. You're on. Or whatever. That's what it seemed like. They just kind of just picked.
I can play Fancy, have a blonde wig on, and go, oh,
That's just what it seemed like. I mean, I'm not saying that Chrissy Carlson isn't talented or whatever, but, and she's only, a year, I think she's only a year younger than Emily Harper is, but she just wasn't the best Fancy. So I'm like thinking, what are they gonna do? I mean, if the show picks up, what are they gonna do? They gotta find a Fancy. They gotta
you look
find
like a
Emily or
kid.
something.
I feel like if they ever did a reboot, I don't even know. I don't think that it would even be able to pick up with like where we left off, honestly. I think that if they ever did a reboot, it would have to be like the kids of like, like little Ethan, Jane, because I like the actors have all kind of gone on to do their own things. Like
Right.
who knows who would want to come back? Like maybe they would come back as like a guest appearance.
That's what I'm thinking too. Me and Kate.
But I don't think that they
we're
would
basically thinking it would kind of have to be something like a Fuller House, if you know what I mean.
like a new generation type
exactly.
deal.
It would have to be about the kids' story, and they would only make guest appearances. But I mean, and not to mention, I mean, with the exception of the voice, Alan Oppenheimer, and everything, both Alistairs are dead, so they would have to pretty much retire the character, but they would also need to find some sort of a way of what to do about Rebecca and Julian, because Ben Masters and Andrea Evans are dead and all that, and so is Father Lonigan, for that matter. I mean, they could always, I'm just going to say this right now before we run out of time. I don't know. I do not know. I don't know if anybody knows, to be totally honest. I don't know if anybody knows at all. But I cannot help but actually think to myself that the only reason why they actually recast Maureen McCormick with Andrea Evans, even though I personally feel that Maureen McCormick was the better Rebecca, the only reason why I think they recast was probably because, I mean, come on, Maureen McCormick is Marsha Brady. She probably wanted a big paycheck in order to play this part, and they probably couldn't afford it. So they probably said, we'll have her on for a few episodes, and then we'll find ourselves another Rebecca, and there you go. I don't know if that for sure, but it's just the first thing that comes to my mind. Marsha Brady, she wants her paycheck. So
I can see that.
Yeah.
I liked her. I liked her. I love Andrea Evans, though. I think that she was a great Rebecca, just like her mannerism, her mannerisms.
I prefer Maureen because she was actually evil. She wasn't a joke. She wasn't a drunk. She wasn't a comic relief. She was a real dangerous threat. I mean, even the way she said her lines, you better not mess with this bitch because she will whoop your ass in a second. With Andrea, she turned her into a flippin' buffoon, if you know what I mean. She practically Disneyfied the character and all that. And I'm like, they're two completely different Rebeccas. Maureen was so much better.
I wonder how Maureen would have been though, like with Julian's character, because I think that her marrying Julian, like Julian was always drunk initially, and like, you know, like they were doing these wild sex games.
If that was the case, if you say that, again, I don't remember, I never watched that storyline, so I wouldn't know. But if that was the case, I could bet you anything that if you say that Julian was always drunk and all that stuff during that stuff, they probably would have made Maureen probably the one in charge of the whole marriage. They probably would have made Rebecca probably calling the shots and have Julian kind of being the side character of the married couple and all that stuff. I mean, yeah. But no, that's just something that I don't think anybody really knows why they recast or whatever. I've yet to hear anybody. I mean, that's really a question that you might want to post on your TikTok if anybody knows why they recast Rebecca's. But like I said, that's just the first thing that I can come up with, is that she's Marsha Brady and she wants her paycheck. So
Marsha.
Huh?
Marsha.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, they probably couldn't afford her, especially not to mention, I mean, I know Maureen McCormick is still acting, but what's the last thing you've seen her in? I mean, it's just, she hasn't really done that much. So, but anyways, people, hey, you know what? We've made it through another show here. Our time is up. We actually did it. All right. Yes. Well, everybody. Okay. Thank you, all you watchers out there. I have to say, this has got to be, I mean, in my opinion, this is probably one of our better shows. I loved this. And thank you to our guest appearance for the day. We're so glad we have you back, and we want to have you back again. We want to have you back as many times as you can do. For all of you out there that missed today's episode, don't worry about it. You can always tune in next week and next weekend. And today's episode will be on the YouTube and everything. We air exclusively at 2 p.m. every Sunday, so you don't have to miss a single episode. You can view them all on YouTube. And we are going to get, I repeat what I said at the beginning, we are going to get more cast members. Yes, we will. It's just going to take some time. I mean, Casey and I, we got to find ways of getting in touch with these people. We really, really do. These are tough cookies to really, you know, find our ways to them. Not all of them answer us on Instagram. Not all of them answer us in emails. But we're still trying. We're going to find ways. Just hang tight. And I mean, I'm sure Acacia will come back on some occasion to fill us in on more stuff that we don't know and stuff like that. And we'll find and all of you other guests, people out there who are fans out there, as I say all the time, like and subscribe and just leave a name and a social media in the comment sections below, whether you have Instagram, Line, Telegram, I don't know, TikTok, any kind of social media that you got where you can message us, just leave it in the comment sections below. Me or Casey is bound to reach out to you. We thank you all very much for tuning in. It's because of you we keep passions alive and everything. So until the next show, I'm Joe.
And Casey Metcalf.
And until then, just remember, you are our passion for life. Thank you. All right.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Have a good night, people. All's well that ends well. Thank you. Hang on here.